Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and we've got turn 80 of Asphodel. It's been a couple of weeks, so we've gone through a reasonable number of turns. So let's go ahead and head on through this. So we get some pearls from Naba and Calum. This is for dispelling Nexus, I believe, if I remember right. We also did arcane analysis to find out how much of an overcast it was. And then there's only a couple of battles this turn. We've ended our nap because of Nexus. I think what happened is this lady got sent to the void and then got dropped here. Otherwise, I don't know what's happening. All right. And then we've got Caleria. That little Nid raiding party going against some PD. There's a lore master here with a dimensional rod. Potentially because he's insane. It's a really good gift from heaven. Alright. Alright, that was here. Okay. So yeah. We've ended our nap. And so we're starting to mobilize some stuff, but we've also got a lot of stuff just already mobilized. I mean, we got troops laying around everywhere. So it's not that much of a reaction. We are doing a dispel attempt. I believe I forget what that was. It was like 120-ish, I think. I mean, you can skip back in the video and do the math. All right. But otherwise, just continuing to try and scale a bit. We're getting very close for the amount we need to Utter Dark. And we're really starting to think about how we're going to go about getting both these globals. Because I'm going to be so sad if Enchanted Forest bumps Utter Dark and then gets canceled. So we need to think really hard about the spacing for this stuff. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we are going to try and dispel Nexus, especially with the two globals I want to put up. We cannot have Nexus in the game right now. I do not want anyone being able to dispel those globals, because that's my win condition. I've played too passively for too long. I need these two globals to try and win. That's our meme. So, in terms of, I guess, what we're forging this turn, we got a couple of rings of fire. I guess I forgot to turn these. No, I decided it was okay, even if it might give one pearl, because it's a 4-to-1. And then we're doing our Wyverns cast. So, I don't know, maybe we're giving it like 2 pearls. But I'd rather have that stuff than have him not have 2 pearls. But yeah, alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the dispel. That's turn 80. We can go ahead and go into turn 81. I think some of the Black Centaur are moving to the front, but they might also be waiting to move to the front. We'll see. Or they might already somewhat be there. Like, we move these guys out. So, yeah, I mean, we've got so much crap. I'm not even sure if I'd want to start out with a bunch of sacreds. I might start out with other stuff and just kind of see what gets thrown out there. Gem bait a little. Alright, let's see turn 81. Alright, I've got turn 81 pulled up. The dispel was successful. I think I was aiming it for about realizing that I get some extra pearls into my overcast of dispel. because of the path leveling, so I should have gotten an extra 15. I think I went about 20 above what I thought his overcast was. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was aiming for. All right. It was still possible he could have had, because global rolls have an exploding d20. It's possible he could have rolled like, I don't know, 220s and defended that, but I was just, pearls are pretty precious to me. I didn't want to spend that many, so I was just hoping this would work. Okay. And then we've got one battle. Got a big Nid army taking over a very inadequately defended fort. You can go ahead and just see what's on this army. So lots of gear, lots of gems. I'm assuming all the late game magics. Might be like Frost. Is it Frost Flesh for fire resist, and then Frost Fend. And then, you got your like army of giants, army regeneration, serpent's blessing, and relief. Maybe like anti-magic and doom. I don't know if he wants darkness, but he might do rare mortis. And then we got a lot of pearls, more temporary like earth and air. So, I mean, this army's kitted to the nines. It's a very serious army. You know it's a well-equipped army in the late game, and it's got everything it could ever want when it looks like a weird rainbow disco thing during its buff cycle. So yeah, we've got reach in, we've got all the resists, we've got the floating to prevent earthquake, we've got, was it Dreamwild Legion for luck, whatever the Mass Twist Fate is, we've got the Battle Fury, we've got, well, this guy has reinvigoration. Let's find a troop. That's, I think, generally a little bit easier. Okay, maybe not Dreamwild Legion. Maybe that was a localized luck buff. Or a communion-based luck buff. Yeah, you got anti-magic. No strength buff. So I guess not Army of Giants. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So now they're enlarged. Now they've, a fair number of them have Moss Body. A lot of Blur. We've got Army of Mist. Just all the things. So, not a lot of bodyguards on the back end. So if you did do something like a Howl or Fields of the Dead or is it Phantasmal Army, whichever one creates phantasms on the edge of the map, you might distract some mages or maybe get the odd mage kill. I mean, he's got some bodyguards, but he hasn't like maxed out bodyguards. I think he's relying on Skelly spam to provide that buffer. But yeah, I mean, the gate garrison's not going to do anything. This is me just kind of showing off the scripting here. So you can see this guy, this is 4 temporary air gems, this is another 2. So all sorts of big spells coming out. A lot of the death mages are twice spawned. So, cool. A number of these hurricanes have been hitting my domes. But, I mean, this Frost Dome is trying to hit back. I'm I'm just assuming it's a big caster. So I believe that's what it is. I think it's just hurricanes hitting the dome. Okay. So the dispel's successful. So we end up talking with Jungle Man. So we cancel our war. And we pick back up a nap 3. But I add some conditions to it. Because I do want a little bit more flexibility in the late game. I think a lot of players would just be like, we can have peace, but we're not going to have a nap now. And I think that would be reasonable. They might also tick down naps with other neighbors just to have them tick down. Right now, the only player I don't have a nap with is Naba. So I think what we can do, or I guess what the conditions were, was if somebody puts up a level 9 global, you can invalidate it, the nap. Just inform that person. And we're just kind of formalizing that, so there's no, I guess, like nap lawyering that needs to be done. Or it doesn't feel like that. If somebody puts up a level 9 global in one of your games, and is actively hurting you, you can probably invalidate it or make a case for that. I don't think people would get too upset with you. But just to, I really like chatting with the Nid player and with the Machaka player, for that matter. I like chatting with both of them. And so I'm not out here to piss anyone off. I just want to do my meme. So I want to give him the flexibility to not feel guilty if he decides to attack me for me putting up those globals. And I want to keep my own flexibility of action if he puts up like Nexus again, or if he does, maybe something a little bit more aggressive like a Dom push and Purgatory, stuff like that. Okay. So there's that part, and I think if somebody sits on a 5th throne, it can also invalidate. Because there's only, I think, 7 thrones to win, but I kept it kind of low. And this is another condition that won't really affect Nid of Anger. It mostly affects me, but I just wanted to keep it open. If Nid of Anger invades Machaka, he might end up with 4 thrones. That's fine. But if he moves beyond that, he could end up with a 5th or 6th or 7th pretty easily. So I want to prevent that if I can. Alright. So I think that's it for this turn, and we're thinking we'll do Utter Dark in 2 or 3 turns, given our income. In terms of foraging, we're going to pick up the Orb of Elemental Water, a couple Rings of Fire. For summoning, we're going to transmute fire for a little bit of income. I'm trying to get the last few, like, temples and labs. We're going to carry in Fortress in the cave system. We've got it's technically like a cave forest down there with a lab on it, and so we can go ahead and put a fort there. Then we're gonna we're trying to get a connection of forts. We do have strong magic phase, but we don't have to magic phase. It's not as strong as Nid of Anger, some of the other players, or certainly Calum. So we got, so we're putting up a couple of forts and a new forest dome. So the idea is you can walk from fort to fort all the way back to Asphodel. And from Asphodel, you can also walk to all of our thrones. So that's the plan. So just like a line of reinforcement and a line of supply. Also kind of provides a spine of dominion for us. Because, we are getting Dom pressured a bit. We got low candles here. We got low candles here. And around end. Alright, so, and then I'll show you the fort down here. So yeah, we're going to cast a fort here in Hidden Realm. And then we'll have like a trio of forts here. I mean, Golem is a little bit isolated. But I'm building the power base down here, down in this corner. And I think we should fight reasonably well underground. I'm not sure if a lot of people are going to want to fight us down here. Long Dead would perform well, and we struggle versus Skelly Spam. But we've also got some Sacreds down here, so I think we'd put up an okay fight. Alright. And then I think we've also maybe started swapping our scrying over to Nidavellir itself. So we can check on the Idol of Sorcery, see if it's doing anything crazy down here. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out turn 82. Alright, so I got turn 82 pulled up. We've got an Empowerment and Air. I guess that doesn't show up in the F1 screen. And then we do some of the other stuff. There's a battle for Machaca's capital, but Machaca's pretty much dead at this point. So it's Sacreds, but they don't... He's got some mage support here, but the true core of his mage support is dead. And this Nidavellir army has all the late game stuff again, including this vampire with a Heartweaver Scarab. And yeah, a lot of Evo bait out here. He knows Machaca's got a lot of Banefire. So Machaca's got the Sword of Many Colors here, and the Mirage Crystal. Or I guess 3 of the Glamour Boosters. I really want to forge this, but I think I forgot that this might have been looted here. And then we've got Ember, another artifact here. So Machaca's got a lot of the artifacts. He has a bunch of these Chassis of the Mountains, which are temporary earth gems. So a lot of big mages with some temporary gems. And then Nidavellir is just going to be all the things again. We got the Tome of Gaia. So a lot of potential really nice loot for Nidavellir to take. I mean, these guys have Crowns of Command. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch it. Just really quick. Still have Caleria up. And we got Relief, we got Divine Channeling, we've got Howl, and we've got Rigor Mortis. Yeah, we got an Ember Banelord leading the charge. Can I click him? No. I just wanted to see the aurora trait. Agility. Okay. Alright, so that's the battle. Nidavellir gains 2 black sorcerers, loses 5 draconians, ghoul, a great spider, 1 Nidbethed, 3 sea trolls, 56 soulless. And this is just how late game battles go when one side can put up all the big buffs and the other side can't. Again, it's that sort of rainbow effect when you look at both sides. You know, which side is showing a bunch of colors and which side isn't. So there's a little bit of color there, but nothing much put on the hunter spiders. Doesn't even look like they got blessed too quickly. And this side is still glowing. Yeah, still not blessed. And it's a good bless too. It's Berserker and Regen, which makes a pretty big difference. Alright. So that's that. And I don't think we saw, if I remember right, I'm not sure if we saw relief go up from Machaka either. And this is Nidavellir. So the same relief rigor mortis play that Nid did to kill the big Machaka army is happening here. So you can kind of tell the Machaka as well is broken because he's not blessing stuff, he's not putting up relief. So, alright. But it was still an entertaining battle. Alright. And bad omens. We get some golden gems for a change, and then plague is rampant. Oh no. Plague in my pop-killed lands. Okay. Alright. So we've got... You know, we're kind of spreading back out again. We're just going back to business as usual. So for the casting stuff that we're doing, we've got another transmute fire. We picked up a Carrion Lord. We've now got more nature than we need. And then we go ahead and do transformation, or we're going to do transformation on our Naiad. And for forging, a couple rings of fire. So I think that's good for turn 82. Let's go ahead and hop into turn 83. All right, turn 83. What does she become? She becomes a Leogryph. Not a great transformation, but at least she doesn't have homesick anymore, and she's not dead. Which, given my luck with transformation in all of my previous games, is a blessing. So I'm just going to keep this. Definitely not ideal, though. Alright, we've got a couple of battles in Dunheim. So, a little bit. Oh, I guess there's like maybe a magic phase that failed and then a normal attack. Let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, so we've got Winds of Death on PD, but, you know, there could have been stuff patrolling here. Makes sense. And then we've got a raiding party moving in. Easy. No one died here, then it's just crows becoming the Crow clan. Loses one bear clan. In Grillion, we've got two merc companies, the Sylphs and Trolls, killing a little bit of PD. For our actual events, we lose some Dominion, get 2 Glamour Gems, and oh no, Plague. Alright. And let's see. So for forging, we're gonna go ahead and forge the Crown of Overmight. It's just a fun artifact. I should not be spending my pearls this way though right now, because I might need them to help control global slots. And then we've got Mirror of Trapped Images. Oh, and then for casting, got Twiceborn. We've got a Carrion Fortress going up. We're going to wait one more turn, and then we're going to Utter Dark. Okay, so I think that's it for this turn. Honestly, we're just kind of waiting to do this play. In terms of the global list, there is an empty global slot we can potentially fit into. So let's go ahead and jump to turn 84. Okay, I've got turn 84 pulled up. And we've got 3 little battles here. Let's go ahead and look at them really quick. That's another... I mean, these raiding parties are pretty effective. It's a lot of chaff. He doesn't care too much if he loses these guys. They hit hard. You know, he's got some Evo bait. And then he'll put in a little bit of a mage core. Some mages he doesn't care about, and then maybe a few that he would like to keep, but it won't break his heart if they die. You know, random menagerie of stuff. He's just going to kill a little bit of PD here. Loses 1 Soulless. In Witches Cops, you know, another sort of setup. He's got some Sacreds in this group. He's going to do a little point buffing. Kill some more PD. And then Fortress of Silver Fangs. This is getting closer to like a medium commitment army. He's got like a communion set up. He's probably got some gear on this. Yeah, this might be getting closer to high commitment. Like, he'd probably be sad if he lost this. It's a fair amount of gear. Some of this gear might have been captured gear, and that's why he's outfitted this army this way. But there's not much inside. I don't think we need to really watch it, but maybe we watch it on fast forward. These Hydras are going to put the Soulless behind the Hydras because they won't suffer from the poison, but the Hydras are going to get caught up on the gate, and they might poison everything else that follows up behind. And I don't know that 5 PR, assuming he gets 5 PR out, is going to protect. He's got regen, but not poison resist. Honestly, for storming a fort, I probably would have just left the Hydras outside. But I think we're going to have some self-inflicted casualties here. He's got Rigor Mortis up, too. The Vine Ogres, they've got regen, they've got 15 PR, they'll be fine. But, loses a fair amount of stuff. He might not care about 15 Nidalvor, but that was almost all self-inflicted, I think, for the most part. I think a lot of these kills were just on the Solus. Alright, but, he still gets the okay, another Hurricane. Our lab in Agartha gets destroyed, which is fucking annoying. And then we get assassinated by a Glamour Mage. I think these guys are mindless, so these phantasms do literally nothing to them. So I think we're just waiting for this mage to get tired. Long story short, she is able to, in fact, kill them. I don't know if she did some other spell, but I don't really want to watch them kill 15 phantasms. We lose some PD. Sad times. We patrol out a scout. Every now and again, a Nidavellir scout tries to come in and gets patrolled out. I think I'm patrolling all of my provinces except this one in Los Canyons, which has been one of the most disappointing set of side searches I've ever done, and only gives me an air gem, but does give me some income, so I can just sit here under enemy dominion. Alright, but this turn, this is the turn we are casting Underdark. So we've got Monsanto here. We've got the dark, so D5, because it was the Worthy Heroes Grieving Dryad hero, who's D4. Turning her into a Lich made her D5. The Scepter makes her D7. Skullface D8. Black Book of Secrets D9. Ring of Sorcery D10. So we can do, because she's level 10, we can do up to 1,000 gems into a global cast. So we're going to do 1,000 cast Underdark, and hopefully, and it'll be able to bump anything on the list. So the first global is free in that way. It'll either slot in here or it'll bump something. Hopefully not Well of Misery, but we've gotten what we wanted out of Well of Misery, although we would love to keep it. Alright. In terms of other stuff we're doing a little bit of foraging. Getting a little bit of thug gear and whatnot. And then doing a wizard's tower. We're going to go ahead and arcane analysis stellar focus. If I dispel another global, I think I want it to be stellar focus. The drain impacts the quality of my free spawn. So if we dispel that, then I could potentially get more Carrion Furies. Alright, and I think this is a good time to maybe go over all the stuff we have. So here's our mage list. So you can dig through that if you want. Honestly, it hasn't changed that much in like 30 turns. We've added a few specialty mages, but it really hasn't changed much. And then the quantity of free spawn, the numbers have gone up. We're getting closer and closer to 10,000 mannequins. And we've got thousands of other mannequins in Carrion. Nearly 500 Carrion Furies. Around 750 Sagittarian carcasses. We've got a lot of sacreds. I think we've even got like 100 Yeah, 115 black centaurs, so we're doing okay there too. Okay, so I think, we're at about 35 minutes. I think that's where we'll cut it off for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.